we are live. We wouldn't waste a lot of time. There is already one person on our show that is watching. So I want to start by welcoming everyone to the U10 conversation. So if you are new on this platform, we always say who we are, and who we are at the U10. We are advocates for social change, for economic change, and for political change in our communities. So we here always to spotlight the great work that change makers in our community are doing, and we also come here to discuss topics that we think are relevant to our audience, to advance the change that we want to experience. So thank you for always being here and for supporting us. We do this on a volunteer basis, and so the only feedback that we get is your participation, your engagement. So please go ahead and click the share button, and also comment. Let us know where you are joining from today. Today's topic is about technology education and innovation. This topic is very important, and we are joined by a very special guest, Elijah Achiek Panchol, all the way from Cairo, Egypt. You have heard before guys talking about technology and Kuri championing technology, and as you have seen, our team is growing. We're bringing more new guests to champion this technology thing because the world is technology, and we have to be current with the current realities that are happening across the globe. So I'm honored to be joined by Alakir as a co-host, Kuri Juach. And Elijah, I don't want to take away the shine. I want you to get right into into this topic. I'm very excited. So we're so honored to have you. We have seen a lot of excellent work and wonderful work that you are doing in our community, and spotlighting your work today. It really will be an inspiration to many of our youth and folks. Here, why jam tong English? So choose language that or mix and match as much as you can. But the message is for you to actually pass your information to people and inspire people to take action. So, Elijah, I don't want to take away a lot of time. Can you share a bit about your education empowerment journey? What inspired you to go into this technology area? And what can inspire you to join the youth and to want to make this work be known by everyone that is in our community? So take it away.
Okay, thank you very much, Akwal Philip and Alakir, Quir, and everyone who has tuned on today. Thanks for coming. It's a privilege to be on U10 today. First of all, I will start by introducing myself. I cannot assume that everybody know me. My name is Elijah Achiek Panchol, and I'm South Sudanese. I'm a trained biomedical engineer, and I'm also a teacher. I've actually taught for quite some time. I started my teaching career since 2016 in Bor, South Sudan. I also came to Juba, was also teaching. And I came to Cairo. I also looked for an opportunity to start teaching. So that is what I've been doing for the last 10 years or something. So I'm more comfortable when it comes to education. So I'm more passionate, and I'm more interested to talk about things concerning education. As for my empowerment journey, I will start with education, my educational background, how I actually end up going to school. It's actually quite an accident. Maybe most of us, it's an accident or a miracle that we are now speaking foreign languages. Chances are we would not have gone to schools if something did not happen. So it was 2006 when my brother came back from Kenya, and he said, I got a place, Kakuma. And then people were not optimistic that South Sudan was going to be an independent nation. People were really still scared that maybe the war is going to go back again. So that was when my brother decided to take the whole family to Kakuma. I was quite a big boy then, probably around 12 or 11. And I wasn't yet in school. So, but I knew how to read. I knew how to read Dinka language because I learned Dinka language early at an early age. They used to carry me around their necks, and I would read, and people would be like, "Oh wow, this is wonderful." So when I went to Kakuma, instead of going to grade one, I started in grade two, and then a year later, 2007, actually came, and that was when the repatriation started. So one of the experiences that I had in Kakuma was an experience with one of my friends. It's called Apiu Kwal. He was my classmate, and he was the best friend of mine. He's now in Juba. We used to do some things with the batteries. They use batteries, and then we go around collecting the wires. They use wires, and then we will get a bulb. You remember the old torch that used to, the red one. We would connect it, and then we will bring light to our room. So people, some kids in grade 8, I wouldn't call them kids because those ones were really big. Those guys were very big. So in grade those one in grade 8 would go and see that in an exam, and then they will be like, how do you guys do this? Like, can you explain it to us? So we'll struggle with the explanation how the circuit work, but we didn't actually know that we were doing electricity. We didn't have the vocabulary, we didn't have anything. We were just like children playing. So I realized then that children are creative if you give them tools and the means to be able to do some things. They can really do amazing things with them. And 2007, I returned back to South Sudan, and the rest is history. So that coming to my empowerment journey, I started picking up an interest in computer in 2016. Actually, there was a course that was being offered, and it was being given by Thon Malik, Thon Isaiah. He actually offered a course in John Garang University. Then we had finished high school, and we didn't even know how computer looked like. Okay, we have seen how computer look like, but we have never interacted with a computer. But I was teaching. Some of my colleagues were already teaching. We were very big people, and we knew what was going on, but we had never used a computer. So I actually went to John Garang University. We were supposed to actually pay money, but we actually got that knowledge. We got it for free. Thank Don Malek. If you are going to watch this, I'm inspired today because you actually did something unique. It was actually a very short course. It was a month, and we would go to John Garang University maybe twice in a week, and we were able to do the basic of ICDL, um, do Microsoft Word. And then from then, I started doing more practice. I would see somebody with a computer, I would go and borrow a computer, or maybe tell them, okay, let me use your computer to type my exam or do whatever. And then I got another good friend that was really very helpful. It's called Paul Bulagwer. He's Moin Kongor, so thanks to Kongor, I also actually was able to kind of have an access to a computer, and it taught me a lot of things. Actually, a lot of the things that I learned, especially with the Microsoft Word, I learned them from Bulaguri. Also double as my piano teacher, because then I started learning how to play keyboard in the church. So this is actually my journey along the way. I've met with people that were really very generous to actually give me the skills or help me to gain the skills that I have. And this is what I carry with me now. Every time I have an opportunity to actually have an impact in somebody's life, I do it with all my heart. I try to actually give all that I have because I had gotten help. So about the U-turn, by the way, I got to learn about the U-turn. Was it last year? I saw you talking about the women issues, and some of the things that you were saying really resonate with us because these are the realities of our society. And recently, I also saw my colleague and a friend, Chol Dengquir. Chol Deng is in Turkey. Chol Deng was actually my classmate, but we were competitors. So Chol, I did not come here because I saw you. Yeah, but really, Chol gave really a very powerful speech, and some of the things that is said there, if you really put your mind into it and you listen to him, you will learn a lot. And it's always an humble experience to share a platform with people like him. And thank you very much, the U10 team, for what you guys are doing, giving people like us a platform. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Wow, 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 wow. What a journey, what an empowerment journey. And as you said, all of us here in one way or another, not quite work on Domkin, right? People who give us platform, opportunity, knowledge, and mentorship for us to be here. And that is the goal of the U10. Thank you. You are in the right place. We are giving back to the community what has been given to us. So you are actually, we said paying it forward. So thank you, and thank you everyone to mention it. And a good children, a U10 fellow on this platform. And it's interesting how the best relationship nowadays are relationship when you call why can him so what why one and you are what is so these are intellectual relationships are very unique. So thank you so much for sharing your journey in Elijah. And thank you. We're copying many people that are watching from Afghanistan, from Egypt, Kentucky, US, Koto, Juba, and Kenya. Thank you so much. Look at this conversation share. Elijah, you mentioned up to until where you are now. So in an organization do you use like you are working actually empowering people. So tell us, what inspired you to creating that platform, and what is the name? What has it been doing, and how does it relate to the work that we just shared that you want to pay forward what has been given to you?
Thank you very much, Okol. That I was actually under pressure, and sometimes when I talk, there is a lot of things on my mind that I need to say at the same time. It's actually quite a problem, but I will try to actually go slowly. Like I told you before, I'm a teacher, and in 2019, when I was here in Egypt, I started looking for an opportunity to start teaching again, and I got an opportunity in this school called African Hope Learning Center. African Hope Learning Center was founded in 1998, and it's a school that have actually contributed to a lot of beautiful stories. They have trained our South Sudanese, Ethiopian, Somalian. You can mention as many people that you can, even the Nigerian. When I started teaching in this school, that was when Corona came in. Corona came actually 2 months after I started teaching at the school. And the school shut down, everything got shut down. And even the university also, everything was locked down. You guys know the stories of the corona era. So when that happened, people started looking for, like what are the other means in which we can start doing the normal way of teaching or still teaching our kids. One of the options that actually came on the table was the online learning. But then again, the problem was that most of the teachers did not actually have like the skills to be able to even organize maybe a normal Zoom meeting. And there were facilities in the school, but not everybody had the technical know-how to go about that. I was tasked with teaching the grade 8 student mathematics, and there were only 2 days in which the student should come to the school. So I started looking at the curriculum and said, look, this curriculum is too big. If we stick with these 2 days, chances are we are only going to cover two topics, and the subject is also hard. Like, and kids don't like mathematics. A lot of kids, I have been teaching mathematics for the last a couple of years, and maybe some people don't like me because of that. So I started realizing that if we stick with what we have, it's not going to work. So I started teaching online. I started actually orienting my student to be able to actually get online, and also I started organizing Zoom classes. And at the end of the year, the students were able to pass. Actually, almost all of them passed except one student. But one of the things that contributed to their passing was because we made sure that everybody was very good at mathematics. Nobody would get zero. So that was our focus. And actually, it would not have been possible if I had just done it like other teachers. So how is this one related to what I was doing? Then I started noticing, the normal educations or the traditional education that we give our kids, sometimes it's not enough, because we're now living in the world which is surrounded by machines, software everywhere. But we are only confined in an area where we have to only be the consumers, not the makers. And I started noticing one thing: if we continue with this trend, it's not really going to help. So we have to find a way of trying to incorporate the skills that we give, or the knowledge that we give, which is the traditional knowledge, and we try to actually infuse the technology inside. I started doing it in that school, the same school. I started doing it in 2021, because I was tasked with teaching computer then. But then again, sometimes, if you find an establishment, something which is established, and you want to actually come in with the new ideas, the people who are already in the system will start thinking that you want to overthrow them. So so that's always a big problem. I started experiencing some kind of, even if the person will not say it, they will do something in a subtle way that you will be like, okay, maybe this person is not happy with what I'm doing. So I started experiencing some kind of resistance a little bit with the administration, but I kept on pushing because I knew these were our kids. So the U10 come in 2021 and 2023. That is after I have finished my university program, and I was still teaching. But then again, there was a friend of mine that came from the United States, and he wanted to actually kind of like help us to give a student some skills on electronics. I have a background in engineering. I fairly understand electronics. I can do certain projects with electronics. One of the things that I noticed when I went to the university is that sometimes there are things that we should learn in high school and primary school that if we learn them, it will be very easy for us to go through engineering school or even the school of computer science. I think Query is going to actually tell us the same experience later. But that is what I actually when I went to the university. I did not actually have a lot of technical skills, but I later realized that the people that were with me in the class were much better, not because the university is teaching them that, but because they came well prepared from the high school. So when this opportunity came, I talked to him. I told him this is really a great opportunity. It was the wife that first of all approached me. The name of the person I'm talking about is called Terry King. He's an old guy, 84 years old, but he's still having that, heart to help. Like you need to be able to help. So when I talked to the school administration, the first say, okay, this is a good program. We will try to see if it will work. They tasked me with doing it. But when I started trying to do the implementation, there arose problem. Like sometimes we will come to the schools, then they will say we will not allow you to go into the lab because maybe what about if one of the computers get damaged and stuff like that. So I got frustrated. But before then, I already had an idea of, okay, what if I have a school which is only STEAM based? Like it's a school, but where we only focus on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. You cannot do that in the school that already had its own principle. That would be like you want to dismantle the existing system and you come up with another system. So I started talking to my friend. My friend is a very optimistic person. We didn't look at it in terms of money. Like if we say, okay, we want to buy everything and get everything at the same time, we make a budget of $100,000, it cannot work. So we started going a bit by a bit. We started buying few computers. we started seeing, okay, what would be the other way that we can actually get funding. We started a GoFundMe. Actually, we didn't raise a lot of money from the GoFundMe. It's still working, but it's been 2 years now, and we only raised $3,000. So so maybe later, I will say something later at the end of the day concerning, at the end of the talk concerning that. But to pick up with this, my idea is to actually kind of equip the youth with the technological skills, whether being programming, whether being more of electronics, whether being the simple the simple technological skills that we undermine. Because a lot of these of people graduates today from the universities, and they don't actually even know how to open a computer. That's the reality. It's true. And when you go in to look for the job, you come with this big degree, scaring people with A's and this one, but the work that you are going to do actually requires you to know how to operate a computer, and you don't know. At the end of the day, when you are left out, you started saying, oh, corruption, whoa, whoa, whoa. But that is not the reality. You don't have the skills. So how am I supposed to actually take you to like now? I'm aspiring to open a company. How can I just go and get somebody who has a very big degree with a very scary A's, and then they will not come and do the work? So that would be like killing my company or killing my business. So really, we have a lot of work to do, and this is actually one of the reasons we came up with El Nada. El Nada is actually an Arabic word. It's word renaissance or revival. A renaissance is a word that is used to describe a period in Europe when people started having ideas, like Leonardo da Vinci. He started doing great things, and that is actually the same time in which calculus was invented, and that was the same time a lot of new and modern ideas, which are now the foundations of our modern technology. This is the time all these ideas came in. So I call it Al Nahada because actually this is also like a revival period for technology. For example, people are talking a lot nowadays about AI, and we still actually 40 years behind. If we are 40 years behind, it maybe 100 years behind. But the good news is that the information is there now, so we can catch up within a short period of time. But it needs people to start thinking in different ways. So our initiative is an academy, and we now work with young people, the youth. We also work with some of the centers. So we go to the center because the schools here are not called schools; they are called centers because they are not, official. So we will go to the center, talk to the administration, and then we only focus on those who want to learn that. We don't want to force it on people because actually these things, they are not forced on people. It's you. When you have the will to learn, it is you will come and learn because they are very hard. Queer will actually testify later. These things are really hard. And if you come up with the mindset of, oh, I'm being forced into it, you will not learn anything. So that's why I have this model that we go to the school, we talk to the school administration, we tell them what it is that we are doing, and then we try to work out some of the other things, and we start working with them. This model worked because I have seen this model can work in South Sudan. If I get enough computers today, let's say 20 computers or 40 computers, basically the laptop, we can actually teach about 10 schools within the same term in South Sudan. We can teach 10 schools. So if we can teach 10 schools within one term, it means that we can teach about, that is 10 times 3, so about 30 schools. And if you can do the math, you would end up actually training about 1,000 people. And if you train 1,000 people in a year, that would be a great thing. So my whole idea is to ensure that we start training our people, especially right from primary school to high school. We start exposing them to technology, and we also start talking to them about the side effects of overuse of technology, because there is a way in which we use technology nowadays which is not really very helpful. Maybe we'll talk about that point later. But I think I will end here. Sorry if I'm talking too much. I'm from Jalwali, so.
No,
Thank you,
yeah,
Jaguar.
it's been do you now people will judge me that
Elijah, ya cool, ile bajam.
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, no, well, like, what are very impactful. Anyway, we got a thing, we got pin. Thank you, message Konacha Team Manger. Thank you so much, message Guacha Queen. Look video share and look chime in, look question when bank book a teach. What a very powerful model, Elijah. And I remember Chimandu, and I came to do computer science, UBC. But then I book engine strong background from primary school and then I talk akuma I check on computer and you could think the matter telephone ke liure tap telephone mama Rebecca and ke amu the mama so no much I think it's in it no na ja turkana ga computer I high school kon turkana I check on computer I get the you one but it's a lot of you can work care allow most computer love. So I gave up on it. And then I came to Canada. Computer engineer. I must do something computer. Can I computer engineer again? Can we a computer program? Can I leave programming? Come up and engine barrier 8 hours. Go ahead, right. I had to pivot, but marketing business, but I'm well 10 presentation, where I've been coding. So that is what our people need. Our young people need exposure to technology right from primary school to high school and project like Alnada. This is the time of Alnada. This is the time of the youth. I think you will let you know on this platform. The good news why young will win, but one of people on the ground like you who are actually doing it and opening door. I hope not until video then who project vision a project ping and be support Blair on the ground. So anti jama read and with them and be yen put it like an alakir big road by chime because the comment below could put it like the way to bet it ko book jaba jaba la do so thank you and welcome in. Thank you for joining us. Share this message because a message of renewal, a message of revival, a message of the technology, a message of the future. In Gato walk and Elijah Achiek Panchol is doing so many amazing things that our people need to hear and he needs the support because people like him are people that are paving the way and setting the vision for the future. So, Kuri Juad Anti Jamarit, take it away.
Ya, ayan syukran arit Kual Philip kuincha leja arit wan mata da Elijah Achiek Panchol elon piet chain jani du chain a guir kujala business model dun chia tin tin. Ni pacho na lo a community diet các cái truyền còn riêng dần ở trên đường del riêng chứ cái chọn computer quay man il benang ran đang với bè li jam regarding that riêng ở bên dal cái chọn computer you know be man tu be pinga ba cái chiếc gạt computer là ina pio camera chatting lekin that mindset yang ka mindset ra chứ cái lo ko kwa nim computer ấy cái đó có tính cái tên of which the computer đang đi tàu cái abroad you know so I remember when we work ALU thế nè ran bên trên anh coi cái trên background nó computer so anh ấy privilege anh đang background thì nó computer qua anh ấy lui graphic designs của jala other office work before ban and ben ALU so anang wena walan ya chol din tuch so ayen ka ye an pyoj ka ko computer ku ken nam computer de so eten one cham ben one bi wo ALU de na this basic computer che pye ko laki ko ja chi da deal programming achin cái đằng achana you can assume achaka learn high school can acha benting you know it is always good be all the societies well all the schools big basic things big ya pyo meet ken so woka body la ku gol programming gol python direct ache kan ngi yi bu pyo yi kadang computer application chuma yi
Into
mana yi
bang when
word
into gal Python, into gal C plus plus, then
abi jual aga jabana yin ko ja gul python lo pin la kedang bi pin la rip le ran jam kera jaret anang mit ko ka ba ja ku ti tau art symbol anang te da ne je wo lu sha ke no kedang wo tele je rana ben e jaren ka je ka gor ku me da ja ga to wen a quick art symbol chan email do ya gor at gmail.com je at je gwi to wen ka chi yo awen ka ja le ran de yo yindi go le gat gwa bo ko ja le na to ten so bo ko je go kana ja le la yo ngu ke ne ma na wo che ka pyo ma ne ka ke high school ede che pya you know e yidu wall pin no mo bena lui transition ma na ka e technology ben e yanka le retin especially most of loy mana ayaka loy google workspace ku ka ti chirka ke mana aya kwa yi ke gno chatting so courses ile baka yo ile baka yo ger to talk etin but in lo ko teme no min chi ko ra chan ba nang knowledge tin bakadang bagam balom regarding that thing so technology alu misuse cuman wen chene leja elwen so ko ja jolo cuman this all ngadi telephone mana wala computer dun to ay jolo ka yena kare ler benang katin be man kui bi kai cho ka la ka le ni ba jar live chatting ku ye yene ke lu computer wala all other gadgets aka chi ka loy ka ben ka ja jar live aka loy ke ka chana go nen kada anang point jata when Elijah e pia da reda dilale buku ya koy when lu create then buku ya consumers chatting ku kene yero loy di ayero loy na neng mette mane na piu mit ko mane gol primary level angai programming chama ni India kaga yi HTML CSS yi Python kaga ay ka piu ka yi primary school chatting na ele na ja ben university ai complex ideas wala complex ngadi ai ke ka jo ben la kadang ai ke ka jo ben ngi ya pet chatting lekin uh, wo wo nim la to pin chatting most of our koi nim la to pin so instead achan balui focus achan batak batak kapia da wen le bake innovate ka yi ni lata ka kati ko ka wen te man primary ke ela ya shala nya kana so apia ten ka wa ya kwai ko buku that mindset buku gera mat ko buku taw ka wa ya kwai wen technology lui ko embrace ya ile banang warendu lekin warendu na chinom computer skills a wen le bayin kayen support apet kayin na chin til yin tin so ya risa ya dang
Of course,
biyin kada
in could
brand biyin
what
loy
you buy a dictator, go on Louis computer. Now you have disgraced your family.
yeah absolutely you know pa panda ya akan ni aran beke baya dictator lekin acha disappoint so ang kina ran software ran computer chatting so akor buku mit ko buke nyai ni mit these three asian courses ya ga doil well so gol baya dictor baya lawyer ku baja engineer aka kiben akor beke nyai ko ni ku berana ben be chalaw nam any course duna when so long as be yin cha yok ke dun ba cham yelle yin tin ku make sure that course du ben benen ka tini technology ye martin chatting so google workspace is important at ku annan course dien cha design il birala yo tinga kom so a complete guide google workspace in understanding anything regarding google workspace you know chana yentele pinam tini mana currently ko yeah ambe jamele na che damandang dia na che ba ben shukran ala kirim ba jo ba par
No, thank you, Quer. And I think we all can relate to that struggle of growing up. In education in computer, and then you get hit with those big computer terms and courses in university. Um, really great to meet you today, Achek. I the word is excited. Like I'm excited for the future of the youth that are growing up in this era where there is El Nada. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but yeah, my own journey. I had just completed high school 2014, Kakuma refugee camp. Somebody randomly sent me money and said, "Bar Juba, in Bella Louis Bankage." Yama Tim said, "You know what? Take the money, get yourself a ticket, Lord, Aldamaravin, ku yimba ben lo, yimba ben tau, balum computer packages." I later found out the person who sent me money had ulterior motive, probably want to sell me for a few cows. But that's not the story for today. The story is I went ahead and took computer packages. So when I on Chanjaben University, I did not struggle with doing my assignments in Word, Excel, Outlook, and all those. And that is very important. Question the Nongin Achek is what are the challenges? And on the U-turn, we talk a lot about self-determination. Um, your story began with curiosity. You really wanted to try things out, and then you discovered technology. What are the challenges the youth face from your own time when you thinking about school technology to your time of teaching young people? You are a teacher, and what can they do to overcome these challenges individually? Everybody to any environment has challenges from outside, but I think if motivation comes from within, it takes people further in life. Thank you.
Oh, a kwal neng ke ba diet because I kar ke jala na neng ke de bro diet ke ba ke mar ni pinyo.
Akwal,
I
I think you're
think
muted.
I think go to this technology thing are very yeah, I'm gonna talk about the other thing. Apart from now, talk about challenges that you experience personally and the work that you are doing. You can also add some of the solution that you foresee, and some of the solution Louis Arnada and Louis can address right now in areas so in the thing, and specifically talk about refugees in Egypt. South Sudanese are totally now. Are you touching them positively because that is area of my passion too. I'm a refugee and I want to give back to them in many ways. And you have already seen people, you manage young guy and I don't know organization you buy a court partnership. So this is opportunity to go and reach out and see some of resources on the ground that you can leverage.
oh, and appear that it. Yen akwai I korba confined to English because the topic that we're talking about is more general. Like we're not talking about a specific group of people here. It's actually more general to all South Sudanese, and it would be fair if we can confine it here, especially when we are talking about this area. So actually, when we talk about challenges, if there is one thing which all of us South Sudanese know very well, is that there are challenges, a lot of them. It's actually it start from maybe you not being able to pay your school fees, maybe you not being able to get a good teacher that can orient you in a better way. But I will try to talk about my personal challenges. Uh, uh, like I said before, some of us went to school by accident. And when you go to school by accident, you don't really have like a mentor or somebody who should be able to guide you or look at you and say you're really good at this. This is where you should grow into. And most of the time, this is why some of us go to the university and do something which is contrary to their to what they really want to do, and that's what make it a little bit challenging. So uh, growing up, I actually was very fortunate enough to have somebody who was actually kind of my guardian. Is my uncle, son of my uncle, and he used to actually guide me with academic stuff. But one thing that I realized that was also missing from me is actually me being guided so that I can be able to know what I can really become, like, so that I start early preparations. Because one of the thing is that most of the time as young, when you are young, you really don't know what you want. You need somebody to be able to tell you, really, you are great at this, you should do this. But that should not be just anybody. It should not just be an opinion. It should be somebody that have succeeded in that. So it would be weird for somebody who is not a doctor to come and tell me to to become a doctor. What do they know about being a doctor? Okay. So actually, to me, I found that as challenging because that made me had a conflict of choosing a career. Like when I wanted to specialize, the other head was saying, you really, people are really suffering, go and become a doctor. The other one was saying, you really are very good in business studies, why don't you go and do economics? The other one was saying, you are really a great genius in mathematics. I used to think like that until engineering humbled me. Why don't you go why don't you go and do engineering? So really, it's actually a big challenge in a way that when you are always like when you always have a divided heart, you know, it's not really very easy for you to be able to succeed or be professional or try to really be good at what it is you are going to do. So I emphasize on the importance of mentorship, and I think of what you talked about it in one of your conversations, that mentorship is very important. So that was a challenge to me, and I believe it's actually a challenge uh, to some of the kids that are growing up now. So how do we actually address this? One of the things that when I was actually coming up with the idea of another was that when I was writing initial business plan, I actually put something about mentorship there, trying to actually train people so that they can be able to know when they start going to the university, they already know that what they are going to become. They already have a background of the things that they are going to do at the university, so that when they given maybe an assignment, they will not struggle with it. Like we said before, somebody was looking for art symbol. This is something that you really supposed to do and this is actually what contribute to a high rate of of low quality. Because if you go unprepared and then you go and see things, people assume that you already know these things. Because some of the people, they will be surprised, they will get shocked, like what are you, from the cave? Or of course sometimes that's how some, especially outside world, looked at us like we're coming from the cave. But the same energy that we are putting into the educations or the traditional education that we're doing now should be the same energy that we should put into trying to train our people about the technological thing. So that was a challenge. Other challenges, they are very common. I won't talk about them, but I will confine myself to what we're talking about now. So, as for the refugees here in Egypt, one of the challenges that I got when I was a teacher is that kids are not motivated. And one of the reasons they are not motivated is that there is no evidence that support our claim that education is the key to success. Because if they go to a school, you go and tell them like that as a teacher, first of all, they will look at you, look at your life. You are here teaching us, and what is your salary? It's less than $100. So, so you really don't actually have a solid ground to support your claim. Also, when they go back home later, they maybe find their auntie or the uncle that have graduated with this big degree, and he's sitting somewhere smoking chicha or maybe doing something else, and is doing something else than making money. And then you want to actually force these kids now to still do the same things that have failed their uncle, they failed their parent. So it becomes really, really very hard to actually motivate kids. Because actually, if you can remember, one of the reasons that used to make us have the heart to really struggle with education then was they will point at some people and then say because that person went to school, they graduated, that is why they are in that positions now. And we will see that who doesn't want to have a very beautiful car, very nice house? Everybody want to have those things. But if there is no, if there is nothing that support that, then you start telling a kid, then they will start looking around and try to look for the evidence that okay, how is this one, how who has done this one that is doing well in life now? Because to be honest, education is education, but it all square down to money. If you cannot be able to get money, no matter what degree they give you in this part of the world, you can, if you like, you can study all the careers. But if you cannot be able to monetize the knowledge that you have, and then it's nothing. So actually, why is technology important? Uh, we can state the obvious. People will start saying, "Oh, you can actually work outside," but even that, like working as a freelancer, has its own challenges as well. Even if you have the technical know-how, there is another thing that people don't talk about. There's have to be infrastructure in place that support that. For example, somebody sitting now in Juba and they say they want to be doing freelancing when when they go and buy the internet and sometimes that internet bundle does not work, it will really be a crazy. It won't work, to be honest. So sometimes when we talk about this thing, maybe some of the government people come here. When we started saying, you people, stop corruption and invest these things so that everybody will start doing their own thing. And nobody will even have time to talk about your whatever that you are doing. Because it's at the end of the day, everyone want to make a living. But even if we get all these skills and we cannot monetize it, it will still be useless. So talking about the refugees in Egypt, they have this infrastructure, but not they don't have access to some other thing. For example, you cannot open a bank account here. Even if you have that skills, you have to find another way of monetizing the skills that you have, so that you can be able to make money out of that. So uh, another thing that the kids here or the refugees kids here are facing is that they like somebody like Rariar Taban in Baden and to do bin dutin, and that is not the base where you are living. So in commit, you don't commit yourself. So okay, people here think that they are here temporarily and one day they are going to fly out and go to United States or any other part of the world which is not here in Egypt. But sometimes, what happens if you don't go? Okay, that question have to be answered. What happens if you don't, and even what happens when you go there? Because one of the biggest failure of this asylum seeking with the South Sudanese is that the areas that they were in, when they were being repatriated, they were not prepared for what was coming. Because like if you somebody just take you, for example, from Kakuma and drop you inside Toronto, and you understand how crazy that can be. If it can be overwhelming for you as a big person, just think about it, what it can do to a kid. Okay, so it's also have something to do with the early preparation. So the school that I was teaching it was really doing well. They were training kids on how to speak very well, and also they have computer program that they were training them. So these kids are set up for success. If they go to a place like Canada, they will actually easily transition into the system. But some of the kids here don't have that opportunity, so they would go to places like Australia, and they will end up not doing anything because they were not prepared for that life. So actually, one of the things that we are doing is the orientations, and it's also have something to do with the discipline, because the issue that most of the refugees here are facing is that it's the women that work, and most of the parents here are single mothers, and they go to work, and the kids sometimes don't have anybody to discipline them and let them focus on the on the things that are important. And at the end of the day, they become gangsters and they join this gang. One of the reasons that Australia is start refusing to take people to South Sudanese originated from here in Egypt. Majority of the people that went from here to Egypt were actually these gang people with the fungus. I heard that the same culture is now in Juba. Okay, so if you cannot take these kids and then engage them with something that will give them the skills, then it's going to be a disaster, because honestly speaking, you can, even if you do, no matter what you do, it's already a disaster, and it can recur unless if somebody step in and start trying to do something minimal. I cannot do it myself, and one person cannot do it. It's not a problem that we can just say we are going to do this and it gets solved. No, it does not get solved like that. It gets solved through collaboration and through seeing people who are actually doing something like what I'm doing now and supporting them, so that you can scale up and have something bigger that can actually start benefiting more people. So when it comes to actually starting an initiative like this, it's not easy, because first of all, it needs financial muscles. You have to really be in a very good financial positions to be able to do this. I don't have that. I have a friend, and my friend is not a rich guy, so maybe $200, $300, if that come a month, that can help me buy one computer, maybe pay for the rent. But that is not enough. I'm talking about something that can transform many people's life. So that is also a challenge. But over time, things don't come at once. If I was afraid about the responsibility and refused to start it, of course, nothing bad will happen. But then again, that would have robbed the people that are benefiting through this initiative now of the opportunity. So I think I might have forgotten some things, but I would stop here.
Thank you so much. I think I got all the answers. Follow-up question: can you talk more about the impact of your Elnada, and in terms of the like how many people have taken the programs? What are the alumni doing right now? So it's good to close that loop so people can see this is actually helping and what those people who've gone through the program are doing right now.
So in the beginning of 2023, and the program had a lot of things actually in it. At one time, I collaborated with one of the models, so that she can start training South Sudanese, young aspiring South Sudanese here that are models. I offered her my facility, and they train. If I tell you now, actually, out really working in a modeling industry in Egypt, and we actually had big plan to scale that one up so that it can be. We wanted to come up with the modeling agents, but it didn't work because somehow I went to Kenya and things did not go as planned. So that is the focus on this one thing. I wanted to create a system that if you have an idea as a person and it is something that I see it's benefiting young people, I can actually throw my weight behind you and support you. So that's one of the program which was successful. Another program was a program for a graphic design program, and we also had a studio inside, and some of the guys were working with me as the photographers, and they were also graphic designers. Uh, and then in July last year, we started training group of young people with these technological skills. One of the courses that we were teaching was SQL. We were very lucky. One of our students is now working in a company, and he starts to manage the company's database. They can do it can actually query the database. It can generate a very good report and can do. It's one student, but when we started it, the program had a lot of people. But actually, actually one of the biggest challenges that we face now as South Sudanese, we lack commitment. You can do what, but you can never force South Sudanese to learn. You can motivate them whatever you like, but they will start as if from the beginning they will start like they really are into this, but somehow in the middle they start actually trying to fall back. And this is why this year I changed my model. I start focusing on the young people than the people that are already engaged with some other things in life. So that program is actually having tangible evidence in place, and we are happy for that. One of our students, maybe one of the days, we can invite him and he may come and talk about how important or how we another have shaped him. One of the initiative is now of finance. Is now a finance and the organization officer, and he's working with us, and he's still actually learning more about the technology, and that's why we retain him to remain with us. He's now learning data analytics. He has done Python, he has done SQL, and he actually what we are doing. And it's because the program is small, the initiative is small. Otherwise, if we were able to train about 20 people, maybe we would have 4 people or 5 people that could benefit from the program. But yeah, it's not zero.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I will pass it to the rest of the people. But before I do that, if anybody is watching, you've had all the challenges and who needs to do what in order to overcome the challenges, especially the infrastructure in South Sudan is missing. The modeling, like the role modeling, and I want to mention this for people who've gone to school and decide to put their degree in the closet. You're failing the society and you're failing the teachers that have taught you in your life. So maybe do something and show the youth that actually education is the key to getting a better life. Back to you, Akwalku.
No, that is great call to action, Alakir, and thank you so much. We're copying like video, like share, and put your comments. And now, Auntie Jamun about the topic of of mentorship. Someone say, you know, what if your close people, yeah, your environment are going to educated, so I could benefit of education. And I think I answered it directly, right? Platform like this or initiative, the community like this, they are there to support. Most of us work at this parent, work first generation, people of this, education system, kawaja. Most of our parents, traditional education system, wrestling. If you're looking for a mentor in wrestling, there are many wrestlers living in for you are going to call. You dictor gang ya cheng na that in our community now ko lose are you okay ko war are you okay like our culture I know so many people that and I'm very loud ku ka ken ga ping ke ra ja lo ke ba ja chwara che question am jala do conversation dai and be like jal but very important, you know, our culture, the culture when of pride, a culture when ku yiran yelo aye well be. The problem ko woman watch better very, you know, the society global world to work in a wall you jack a color to live in the United States. I live being a little got affected Malek to the guarantee or go down. So we need to align ourselves and kind of pin them, and that's why Western education is very important because if you don't have it in your problem, I like you climate change, what you make a hawks. But real. So one thing rolo man ran ni technology man Elijah Achiek or man kwere jwa ka book brother well to kan ni ke ka well ka lo e proud e ka lo silent like oh, people don't like big pink na ko ti pia you shut down and na culture ka en ra lo ra ja yo na ko to war ba ke na ma jo che di war na very very powerful woman chol ma jo ke ni ali o I ma jo ke ko man wa ya ko bi ma jo ko ke ti ja yi ga kwen pe wana the only and I did who and I did the culture and a young age, but now you but me I would get down or those things I my area. My area a policy, a technology, a business, and now by Benjam, it can be offended because they say why so can you lot in a U-turn in a book that mindset, book bed that is education later works in or the Western education of course be embrace who big benton big I inspired and I tell you when it comes to learning actually very committed. Now what name and book gumba basic tabu uniform tabu dear go island girl yin yang ba and yin yang tau ba buket name and put dear it I think you are love comment. But now what about technology? I can cut off. Like I have few people that are committed. And that's why we need to continue preaching terrible I mean to the point that Ben Wagani, that our culture, Western education, we need to marry them for us to progress well. I can go down here and watch the culture that one, watch Western education. I should neglect. We need to embrace the knowledge, layer pinum, layer intel. We are part of them. And book pinum by pure cultures for Tongi. That is why we are here on the U10. So we're quite off, we're too late. But yeah, do conversation that I mentioned could get your motivation factor a big thing in our refugees. And I can attest to that story. One on to walk Kakuma when there was GRS, the primary school people. Competition to what I pure okay you got what you tell and you go pure book so that by GRS by you because at grade 5 there was GRS scholarship, grade 8 there was GRS scholarship, and then I got to go form 4. So the every stage of learning no scholarship, and you see people get sponsor. I get here now box I get the area I can good uniform. Everyone was competing. Of course, I need to do a don't way because need other home family responsibility. You can you don't in yeah, it's personal challenges. Now you feel okay. Did okay, and do charity. Okay, very competitive, and those were inspiration. Those external scholarship and Kakuma. Maybe you thought that Egypt. That is why young people are not seeing where they see education. Refugees, even if you pay me refugee, you cannot work. Even where Kakuma, what you work in places where you get paid based on your qualification. But opportunities right now with technology, you can even work. Company to Canada, into Kakuma at the moment if you take if you have data. So it's very important. So those things are quite point. And one thing, JRS and who's they are doing both so many other organizations, being nearby sponsor who want to do go do again. Because the focus has shifted to near more the road. And it's okay. Job motivation is very important, and seeing these opportunities that young people are fall behind. We need to come up with so many initiatives to give them purpose, and that's what another is very important part of reviving these young people to have a hope and something to aspire to, okay, and channel to a good job. So thank you for that good work. And we jump then to my question. So in what ways, my question is that in what ways can
where
community...
do Jako Walda?
Okay.
Malek can by cut off. But for real, you mentioned something important. Like here in Egypt, it doesn't work like it used to be in Kakuma. First of all, the refugees here are there is something they call integration program that they should be integrated into the communities here. But if you really looked at it, it's not a real integration, and it's in other words, it's just saying, okay, be part of us, but you are not privileged to have the things that we have. So it's how it is, and this is why kids here, they don't really see anything that would change, whether you commit yourself or not, because there are no scholarship that can motivate them to take them out of the country. Here, the scholarship that used to come was actually the scholarship from South Sudan, and some of the kids here will start applying here. But that scholarship has stopped now. The Egypt has stopped that scholarship, and it was not even like a fully funded scholarship. They will just give it to you for free, the tuition is free, but some other responsibilities are yours. So it was like something that is common. Everybody can have that. And even if you come out of that scholarship later, there is nothing which has been prepared for you so that you can start picking up from there. Because even the WOOS program, I think that they give you, there are after programs, after you finish, there has to be something that you are prepared to go and do. But that is not there. Even as I am now, I have not gone for my internship, and I was supposed to graduate and go for internship, and then maybe go to South Sudan to see the areas that I'm going to actually apply the skill that I have. That did not happen. So sometimes it has something to do with the government, sometimes it has something to do with the organizations, and these issues are too complex to be solved. I cannot come and shout today at the Egyptian government or UNHCR or South Sudan government and to start telling them this. But of course, we can start doing the little things that we can. My friend Terry usually say, let's talk about the politics, but let's leave it for now. Let's focus on what can we do now. And actually has been motivations of why I actually start talking about the issues of South Sudan. So I just wanted to add that. Thank you.
No, thank you. And to your last point, I Dorcas, I did good thought on the screen should be very happy and go on I dot and you can focus on what we can control. If something is too we cannot make any difference, there's no need to talk about. So I like that your friend is a motivating factor in your initiative. And thank you for bringing that up. And I could be caught on I copying to Kakuma that program de la ben ka kuma ben integrate into refugee to ka integrate into Kenya the same thing a trap here can no Egypt. So one of awareness by a ben you turn it to back piping a right. And then if you are advocate, you cannot advocate for people because being integrated into a system that you think in a valuable, integral member of society, a third class citizen. I don't think you bet I want but talking here you but talking in your in a stateless. Then be it wrong thing like stake in this country, but really you don't have a stake. And so thank you and thank you for that. The question about a question community driven initiative could do right. And our community is very rich Elijah working community organizing especially when it comes to Dinka communities and even other South Sudanese communities that are very organized and they have resources in the hands. It's just channeling into profitable or long-term transformative initiative in Kaya Tingada. So in what ways can community-driven initiatives support the scalability of technology education program another right in resource constraint setting, for example in a refugee setting or even if you want to implement it in board, for example, where there is no infrastructure, how can community rally behind you to make this workable and from your own experience or perspective?
Thank you very much, Colprit. Actually, I'm one of the people that is already very passionate and when it comes to working with the communities. And there is one thing which I have actually realized with our communities, especially South Sudanese communities. They are not supportive of the progressive ideas that are meant to actually change people's lives. Because when they looked at our people, when it is something to do with the long term, forget it. If you come to them and tell them this is what I'm thinking and maybe it will be beneficial, not directly, but indirectly in the future, nobody cares. You can shout all you want, but nobody will be there to support you. So when you start something that is going to be for the benefit of the community, first it starts with you as an individual. It needs your time. It needs, even if it means putting your resources, because until you do it, then that is when some people will start looking at it. And because when it start being profitable, back in the days, people used to make fun about time, that they are people of leverage. And now it's everybody doing it. Why? Because it's profitable. So I want to actually base it like if there is something that can change, it has to start with an individual. But of course, the community-driven initiative can be very important. Like they can be very helpful and in shaping people's life. Let's say, for example, yesterday, I was in a community house of Abia. And I was going there because there is an occasion that we want to do on Friday, this coming Friday. We want to call all the community leaders, and we also want to call all the head teachers to come and sell our ideas to them, like the idea of Alnada that we have. We want to come and sell it to them. So when I went to the community house, I found that the community house inside it even have a computer center of its own. It have a school of its own, something that and the focus on the young people. If our communities have that same ideas and they actually have this initiative and try to make them sustainable, and then it can help young people. But one thing that I also noticed there was that they have even shut down the computer program. Why? Because there is nobody teaching people again. They used to have one person, and that one person has traveled. So this really become really very hard. If you say you want to base it on the community, first of all, there is lack of commitment, and in that our communities are structured in a way that people come to brag. They don't come to serve. If a leader come today, maybe a leader will just come, serve, so that they will go to this occasion and say, oh, I am the leader of this and this, wearing a very nice suit, saying very beautiful words. But if you go back, there is nothing to prove that this person is a real leader, because leadership is not what we say. It's about what we do. So I'm not trying to actually trash talk them, but I'm just saying, if we have a lot of resources, if we cannot do it as a community-based organization, let us look at people who are struggling and they want to do something and try to support them. How do we support them? Let's say, for example, today, I have this beautiful idea and I want to bring it to South Sudan. And each of every community that have an association start saying, okay, Elijah, we don't have money to give you. What we will do to help you, we are going to buy you 5 laptop computers. 5 laptop computers. But what we want you to do, when you come, you will be coming to our community center and you will be training our people. Do you think I will refuse this deal? I will not. Even if I'm not going to do it myself, I will be able to actually delegate somebody, because I already have the gadgets. Maybe I will start saying, okay, how do we transport this person so that they can come to your community house? That is something that we can work out later and start saying, okay, maybe each of the person that is going to benefit from this, maybe is going to have 10 pounds or whatever, equivalent of 10 pounds there. So there we would have actually solved a huge problem of managing, because actually one of the biggest problems that the community-based initiative now face is the management. We have a culture of growth mismanagement, to be honest. Like, this is why we have a country failing now, because we are not good managers. We just want to talk, but when it comes to really doing the management part, it's very hard. It's very hard, and this is why our business are failing, our country is failing. Everything that we are trying to do is failing. So there has to be a chip in a way that we have to support private initiatives, because that person, as much as they want to help people, they also have like the desire to succeed, and they will put in everything. And there is also another motivating factor of what they are going to get out of there. So maybe it will become their livelihood. So they will put everything there, and it become a motivation factor. So, but if we say it belongs to all of us, because so kita wadia de anna wo ke ne chuku kor bu pola be jal piat ki ken dier leng ku diera ya ku jela na na biol den lu ku chwer lekine ka chir ka ken a che be lui kita wadia na lu la be la lui kita wadia ka che lui. Okay, sometimes an communities when liberal minded, that if we start a community-based initiative, then try to separate politics from it. Try to actually detach it from the politics and make it organization of its own, that have its own policies. Even if it is attached to one community, it has to be an organization of its own with its own policies, and there should not be an interference from whether that leader or whatever leader. It has to be an independent body. But to South Sudanese, I know this one. I tell a lot of one. Rana bana kurbi ya bengwa kurbi degree child. Now, if it is an organization of its own, Rana le ben kulda upekulu. I want to remove that person. Yenga chamkan. But berke nyai walk kurbi randa we bela cham. But to be honest, if we look at it in that way, when luela ngai bela cham gede, ache lui, ache kola tueng tai tai, and that is why. Yani luela we wetke. Na ba pinge kule. Kuna Rana nang pure chan because technology with support. Ko ko chirwa ka kar ke ga chan benang lo ger bai because ken a che ke cham e ke loy ku ka era loy ke loy en ka yen chin ke bela loy so wa chir ko chi la tong quran accordan ku ka chir ka resources like this ke kai dang da so yeah, I think community based initiative I support them, but akur buke separate can politics within the communities. We have very powerful communities, by the way, especially where we got agoti and we do a jam one way a math because any jam tong one. We chinelike blessed. First of all, we're blessed with a good brain. When I'm quite very, very smart. Kuke we be blessed here and I'm young don war chorolo in 1990s. A work bejor kule work out in a places that were empowered educationally. So we chilomanti in weto Australia, we kato in numbers. Weto in Canada, we kato in numbers. Come to USA, wherever we are in this part of the world, we kato in numbers. We are the one and quite very successful within your communities. So in a jalkala bena the work I support by our leaders. By leading, it doesn't mean that we are working a job, but it means that akur be our work leading benang a model of kayaka loy na is successful go ka abwejal chocho. A mantin in a lor bor kachin pana kem yo kicha loy ache liwu we wa ke kur le kinia kada ya lwele e create bana yela rio so ena lwel gi yen kulwel ke ba loy loy ke ye private ama da chanber bila loy ki yen ken abu wi da be bay ku ka brat sustain it because na lwele na ke da ke ka lwele ko jala kurkin ku ka ai don ngwe na lwel ke yen ba loy ke da ku ngadi ke jala lwele nga be kana be abel and that is why a lot of initiative when cha ke be nyal especially an jamon ko ka irmantin a lot of initiative when ke ben nyal I la Louis fail. Lekina na loy ke private. Kunyi nana de ke which by the way, you guys know how the market work. Na well ke loy company loy ke form ki company and yaki ye maya de company. Ku ye ngar nang boys in the ku we benang the same idea nana de ke this has to succeed because we benang benefit at the end of the day. Lekina na loy na can be like bidit bila cha kule yin pioirin kule la win ngadi ra ke ken lo war la ka che lui e che la twen kan ting so ken we wet ga we cha ga jem a chin gi nye and ran to ba lakini I was just saying thank you.
Thank God an che rana gutiu so wa ko ka gutian nya an to nya an wan dien so
Hey ko bi wa guti ja gerwe
Kami ko ka guti abi ja ber ya la kira de so ko ri jwa ja chir ko batia de you will ja ni na cha ala ber ala ka ya ngi to la ko ku la ko war ka guri ni la ga ja lo to ko ri jwa what are your points what do you think about this community based backed initiative. And when I talk about community, I also put the perspective. You might not be GoFundMe another link. Could be talking on the U10. What a U10 community? MB community is like we are speaking now to more than like 6,000 people. These 6,000 people, we're only $1. Try to do it. Can you 6,000? And those 6,000 only begin like computer seeker, like you don't get the technology. Did in your computer I guess here. computer I can hear and I can big in your work. That is what I also mean. Like community is more about supporting individual within the community, right? But if community then yen ko jalo ko ko jalo pionye ba ja politen kuri jwa take it away. And be jamare.
Yeah, thank you, Akwan Philip. Ko Elijah Achiek. You know, Okaki, anything related to this community-based organizations. So, EPIA the red, you know, Ranabena correlate. Yeah. Somebody was a matter regarding Ranawan. So, the first things yen ko bichu lawyer well, ebika chu separate. Lekin recognition bera late yen ko motivate. You know, I remember those days when talk Kongor Primary School. Honestly, ki cho en chắc geron ache non neng nyen to kan again. But anang price na chara ngegat chating. So kana to. I remember number 2 nga kandam wala na school je number 22. Chating. Ku class an anang 36. So which mean an wired chating. Cái then cái yo ko lối ko ja ka ben ko ja ka ben sukulich kuna boko jiten kamit kana yi number 1 dom yi number 2 yi number 3 achara wele so ayaka boku chele ke ka kwani ku jaga yen anang bang UN blue ko man nang ranche kedan yo gor ko UNICEF ya bang dan blue ku yi karet ku UNICEF to ka ya blue jating ekene yena ka wela no madira la chan bayaga ko ana ya lausi anche dot kedan jating so eten wan chana na benting có chạy cái miot gorot commit gorot chu commit ja lo la le man number 1 do ma kalan de ja le hin do dang na nhok te ga no ka an che chol per o jo lo je lo de kula te dang wo bu jo kwen wo bu jo kwen ana che bless when wala ne e headmaster so kul dang so ka bo ka ye ke bay so gwa ja kwen eten. Now on the following kadang kay an ka chaben to kay an number 1 kujaya maintain because of what? Because of kawen ya ke giyotin. So what you back a chu ka ben ya kur what you ga ben ya kur kujala ka jwe ko ka chu ke ben ya kur kaya ko bal regarding any community based organizations yeah ache brand chu pion but ako brand ye ran le karan dangal ala pio gur wel ye no man generan kan le jala kayen cuman na ye institution for example a school kay statue tin de il ba lo statue tin be ke ma to tara beza no ba bel wel ran kana chu ko nya kana nanang ran dang laban buku ting statue Elijah to cuman ka ko la wel blue work hard chan bi statue tin de be nyoto chan nan ke be community chatting by that個 community a lot when chatting so a chan will community da wo ko bu ko drive lon when be wo ya kwa when chati hanga le ko mu bada che yen bada nan ko when yin motivate a chan go kana a go loy chatting so okay na you ko loy aman ka most of our organization ko ko nan wo honestly hey do adil wo ko ka gor bang wo nan wo alakir wo wato so we wato na to we ka kor biting lon when be no we be na ke miet be yo question of which be all ways le be na ka kedan ku je ka win ka to win a jaben to win je no ka separate be politics be le ka ku ni ku be initiative dun ta ka ba kana be chu to be be che to ka part of the ngadi of the community anang ke kadang ko bajato nang kan ke ro ka baka ja nyinten you know anang jenga ja lo ka ja nom lia ko ja lo ka ja nom dir ke wen tilapia ka wen chama na ye ka wen to in the future most of jeng ai ka nim da create ben they don't want I remember those days pi nya ka yemai especially tilapia ka pi cho bare let pi nya ka yemai ku aye jieng aye lwel piny kana me ja ching ran be gao piny kana yile piny don bosco ku yi piny den seventh day tau ngadi munuki aka goko meg 1970 something chating kumana ke tau in the heart of the city chating uh, yen ke chiba ben mane sa den yi sharkat ku anan piny ka panda on 2019 yen yaker bang e rok goya lwel chi bữa gạo của to có no man có ja lo yi na si tu na ku ko routine yi a bữa ra to no mili chating so apet that mindset shift a chirot tao ko ko nim ko mana jama chen pen me chen ke yele so a chilu learn through a lot of experience chating so kaya ko ban wele ten in summary apet bukot ya lui kawen kawen be long term ngadi long term benefits ke you ke prioritize our create ben nanen kedun channel dun loy run ya tilapia ka monetization in chi jam regarding that so apiet be ran be kedang da monetize anen ran nang a lot of followers ko nang 500k so anang followers lekin akin monetize chatting because aliep kadang de kaka junub ko kare junuban atau a restrict so ara leje monetization ko legen well sim du ke kare kada fan ko abu ngode kala wala followers ko abu ben manai lui we ka lui ka enjoy chatting so kati atau ya ker kechien in create ben dunia gol apiet achan baya committed ko ba lui work hard ko ke ko no rana wel be result sai ke you ke bait wen wanim ko yen kanak most of us so chimana na for example a graphic in a graphic designer chatting na a graphic designer kaka boy yinom inchi sura ya chaka gwa ya design inchi ke pieda cha gwa loy yen kala ben yinom badin in one process chating ele na chi jago la bene do to kala kai nin ja pio par ko wana ka dang duan loy kana bada piet na nan ka dun nyai ngadi nyai gol nyai hino ku kwanya ye process chok eten process yen kana ngi commitment yen kana ngi ko ge ke ben la bajola ya rana wen graphic designs a wen chirut twar ala ba ke ya loy so na cha ke separate ka ka i process kana goal so cái tên in bi aran when nga dedi in ngade a wall of kadang a wall of technology ala kirin chabar so in ba par
No, I will be at the bank the other cake. Yeah, I think the challenges are a lot to deal with. Um, I like how Achiek has flip it and think about what he can offer. Ke ba kwony alwe pan chin ko kunyuok. Lakin you pan kwonyo like you have to accept what are you doing for your country. Ko chi thora chi bai thora chi londe na chi koloi. Ache ben bay lakini abajalwe ran to ke bajago kini ngating a kini ngating kunang yin kudun bating ko and kudun bating most of the time yes resources are challenges but you have to look deeper you have to see that you have something to offer you have something to offer to your country, to your community, to yourself. And the skills you've learned from school, something nobody can take away from you are the skills, the talent, the self determination, the drive to help other people. And I want to, amplify the message and say to South Sudanese that what are you doing for your country instead of looking what is my country doing for me? Because before it start paying back, like we are talking about long-term investment, and long-term investment in youth is what really drives success of the country. What are you doing to contribute to development of young minds that in a few decades will actually shift how the development of the country is going on? And Akwal Kurpian Kichukula U-turn, we will talk about things we know, education dan chukula waji uchukweji, Abuku Beni in our country on the U-turn platform. We will bring you people who are doing amazing things so you can see, yes, South Sudanese are actually doing something for their country, no matter where they are. To Egypt, to America, to Kenya, in loy, kaloi, achana go lui give back to the community. And that's for sure. Na Iran, you need to see everybody is doing something for their country. Now, what are you doing for the country in Korbalerbi today? And what you're doing for your country, kuchachenu marketing, ke your talent and skill and knowledge and communication, it's applicable. You just need to think a little bit more or reach out. What are the U-turn will tell you exactly. This is your place. This is your strength. This is your weakness. This is who you should talk to. Ago yin kwal. We will share the link for GoFundMe. What you can do for your country is giving $1 to Elijah Achiek Achanago initiative de Gola Twin. What you can do for your country is connect Achiek with someone who has aligned values with what he's doing. So if they connect, they can actually do something much bigger. You find when people work together, they go further. So please always reach out. Nane rani tinga kakaloy kana tiaka ka korba kaya loy kin jamoni yen. Just go to their inbox and message, hey, I really like what you're doing. How can we work together? Or I want to do what you're doing. Kichibu ben bi mandani jam kurajwach is uh recognition is very important. So Ayira and I, and you like what U-Turn is doing, maybe start U-Turn recognition program. Recognize all the leadership, not Koiga politic, but the leadership in youth empowerment all across the world. People are doing amazing things and try and empower them by recognizing and saying, okay, maybe 2026, you want to organize that recognition or award program. Binaranta Bialoy Kulunga has won the U-Turn Leadership Award in empowering youth in this many ways. So I don't have much to say. Thank you so much. I feel fortunate, but to be alive in this timeline and meet amazing people that come on the U-turn, including Elijah, and always happy to be speaking alongside the amazing Paul Philip and Kure Judge. It's good to see you again. So you need to come back. Kayi Kalwer are doing the impact that we're looking for.
Thank you so much, Alakir, and very powerful. And someone that is right, Alakir. We need to contribute to a development of a country, and each of us has a responsibility. So thank you for sharing the link. Abul will share on the platform, and Alakir, you've been make a very wonderful, great suggestion. And Alakir, entrepreneur here on this platform can your day. When we started the Youth and Women Enterprise, a registered organization in Canada, I wanted a non-profit. No, we need social enterprise. Nothing for free. I think everyone get your mindset in Elijah Achiek that when we start doing things for free, people take things for granted. So we say we will make it a social enterprise, having a wing that is purely focused on community impact. And this is the platform to work in. We just a volunteer focus on impact, like bringing in people like Elijah Achiek, bringing people like Puri Joabi Kokogati, to bigger support. It's spotlighting their work and inspiring the people. This is for free. And then we have our, consultation, which people have to pay. If you want to get more skill from a qualified, if you want to write a business plan for your organization, or you want to write a book, I'm a freelance writer. And we can sit there, right? I tell her, when you are for free, a lot of money. In a korba jala just bar nyoji pera ko get to a story to book and share life and will acquire the book and pay you. So your story I get to go for free. And what are these are intangible assets. Your story is your intangible asset, right? You can sell it and get money, not just bye Brian walk watching you pin that. So what is the point? So anyway, that is a distraction. The main thing, but we want to let our people know that we can all support each other and being progressive in thinking long term, like where is this going? And technology education is very important. So what we are running out of time, but if you can give us more time, can call by you teach about your vision of technology education for South Sudanese, either on the ground or even global. Right now, education and learning are digital worldwide. In the next 2-3 decades, I don't think non school campuses in Kokyala, people will be learning in their own houses. So I want to ask you, how can integrating, digital literacy into education curriculum enhance employability for South Sudanese youth? And what is the vision of Al-Nada, from perspective of the world going digital fully in the next few years?
All right, thank you very much. Once again, and beduchen nangquir queer in che very important na chajanyen yen kai chol koch eben pir dai ko ayo koch we actually perform well when we are appreciated, and if there is no appreciation of a thought, and then sometimes people tend to give up, and they will see that is maybe if there it's kind of a feedback, by the way, and they try to find a way of getting a feedback, like how am I doing. And that is now when you are riding a Uber, you have to rate if that person you're good or you're bad. This is actually appreciations. But Ran Kiloi is not driving Uber so that it can be appreciated. He's driving a Uber so that he can get the money. But actually, and then it can be appreciated in it. So yan korba jamiten yan can korba jan in our community have to have something achi appreciation korba out 20 in the goal. Kiman when china will a korba appreciation be jala ben loy, and that appreciation will be well received to channel loy chanejal nyelo. So let us appreciate people who are doing. And even this program na American and you team naneng any other naneng any initiative I introduced when we wake call when ke nan kalo ke ba ke ka team ko cha po se ka berbela ni ko le ke dien lo alui. So it be a great thing. So and Bijala Ben a question to Paul that how can integrations of the technology into our curriculum enhance the employability? We talked about this before, but it was not into detail. Right now, South Sudan is actually quite behind in terms of technology. And Quir said before that most of our things, the products that we now have in South Sudan, whether it is a software, whether it is an IT solutions, whatever that we have now in South Sudan is being controlled by other people. And one of the reasons why that is because our people sometimes they don't believe that we know. That the self-doubt is a big problem. But if it is if the government lead the initiative, sometimes the government lead initiative or things that they initiated don't work quite effective. But there is something called forcing the hand of the government. Forcing the hand of the government, this is something that is in demand. And there are people that are in the front line that are championing this. But I look at champion in a way that it is a clean heart, whereby na chakwal pili benken initiative dega chukurbu kaino budieno pin kubiyaka da yeno la twing, then the government will see and say, oh, now these people this is being done and there is need. So government will later come with the scaling this or maybe supporting this initiative so that they can scale the program. And this is why in the West, you see, most of the time, it is not government that is directly initiating the program or directly sponsoring the program. There is a way in which they do it so that, the money will come back to people. Because the problem, people don't understand the importance of empowering the people around you. Because if you are the only one who is empowered, you will live like king among the rest. But if we empower everybody around us, we all together will be strong. So when it comes to integrations of I will first of all talk about the integrations of the technology into our curriculum. This is quite hard. Recently I saw the books that were produced by South Sudan, especially the ICT books. To be honest, if I don't want to kind of like put it in a negative way, but outdated. I think they went and copied some book that were used some years back, and really, you have nothing really. There is nothing that you can really learn there, and they only just produce books. Like if you take that book and you just start cramming it, it will not help. When people start making initiatives or taking initiative, especially people that have resources in their hand, because I have seen now South Sudan, there are people who have resources in their hand, but they want to keep the money in the bank. Please take that money out of the bank and start supporting the schools. Where if you cannot support the schools, come up with an idea of, if we cannot have a computer lab of the school, let us identify certain areas and we try to put the labs there. Let us make them private. If anybody want it, the person is going to get inside it with their own money. But this is quite expensive. But there are people in South Sudan right now that have money, that if they decide to do this, if you put one lab in Shirkat, that can help a lot. Take, make another one in Loglogo, make another one in those other areas in Juba. Don't confine it to Juba too. Go up to the villages. Go up to also the towns, the South Sudanese towns. So if there are people that come up with these ideas and they try to implement them, the technological education that we are talking about is going to be a thing. But we really very far as South Sudanese from actually even talking about learning online, because nowadays South Sudan having an access to internet is a privilege. It's not a necessity. It's a privilege that only few with the little money that they have can access, but not everybody that can access it. That is why I'm thinking, okay, so if we want to have this, let us maybe do it in such a way that there will still be people that have access to this instead of the current model which we have now. So I think South Sudan is going to be one of those countries that can be successful when they start acknowledging that there is a shift of the labor right now. Everything is almost being done on the computer or through the technology, and there is a need to be able to train our people so that they can be productive. Let's say, for example, the Central Bank of South Sudan right now, I used to see them, they recruit people. And actually, one of the things that should be one of the categories that they should put is that people who are going to work in the central bank, you have to start recruiting people who are data analysts. You have to start recruiting people who have ICT skills, so that if there is a problem within the bank, you have to come with an IT solution that can be able to solve that. So, but like in South Sudan, I don't know, is it that we don't know these things, or is it that we just don't want to do it? Sometimes there are things that I just looked at. For example, I will talk about the embassy of South Sudan here in Egypt. Sometimes you will go and find a lot of people going to embassy like this, only to just go and take a paper out. One day I was thinking, how about if the embassy can just come up with an ICT solution that they can put these things online, even people can pay online and they can get this document online. Like nobody have to necessarily go there and then go and get these things. You just have to make a system, and that, by the way, can eliminate the corruption. Because if you looked at it in a way that if we have a system now that people don't have to pay cash, but they have to pay everything that should go into the bank account, and then the middleman here will be removed. And I have seen this one very effective in Kenya. Kenya is now cracking down on corruption, not using guns or threatening to be killing people like what I saw vice president talk about something like that before. No, this is not the way to do it. There is an easy way to do it. You don't have to kill people. Eliminate the middleman. Eliminate the need of using cash in the public institutions, and you will have a great system working. I can actually put system to be honest, is not a very difficult system. And I make a prototype doing U10 that how it will work. I will try to explain. And it can within only few hours. But back in the days, that can actually take you about maybe 3 days, not 3 days. If you are maybe a smart programmer, it can take you 3 months, 3 weeks, I mean, so that you can implement that. And you will need to work in collaboration with other people so that you can actually put some other parts together. But now with the coming of AI, you can be everything. You can be a front-end developer, you can be a back-end developer, and you can be a full-stack developer, all in one person with the help of AI. You don't actually have to copy everything. You have to really know what you are doing. I'm not saying that AI is a solution to everything, but if you know what you are doing, you can be able to actually tune it in a way that it can help you to make a product in a short period of time. So when it comes to employability of our people, we also need to consider one thing. Employing people come when we also realize that who is going to employ. Because when we talk about employability here, we also have to notice who is there employing people now. Now, if we look at the situation of South Sudan, there are only 2 institutions that are employing. It is the NGOs, and they are becoming highly corrupted nowadays, and it is the government. They are the only one hiring. Other people, maybe small businesses. If we talk about small businesses in South Sudan right now, it may be something which is being done by individual. They are not employing anybody. It's self-employment. Actually, what I have seen, which is big in South Sudan now, is the self-employment. And how does knowledge of technology improve or help the person who is employing themselves so that they can do their business effectively? Let's say, for example, nowadays you have something that you are selling in Juba, and you want to let it reach to a lot of people because we underestimate the power of advertisement. You want to make more people have access to this information, because information sometimes is very important if it reaches a lot of people. What will you do? You can post it on Facebook, but then again, maybe it is only your friends that are going to see it. If you are somebody who is actually technological oriented, you will be like, okay, there might be another way of making people who are living in this part of the city that I'm in that will only see this information of mine and not everybody else. That will actually need you to have an understanding about digital marketing. So you need to be able to understand some things about the digital marketing and how you can be able to actually promote your product within the existing platform. You don't necessarily have to start a new one. So government is not employing, NGOs are only employing few people, but still, if you have the technological skills, if you are self-employed, for example, if you have your business of RAY, I'm telling you that your business, you can find a way of, if you have the technology, that your business, you can find a way of actually advertising it with the skills that you have, so that you can actually get more customers and you can scale your business. So integrating technology into into our education system is going to be a task of war. But it needs all of us to be able to contribute in our small way. Now, let's talk about the context of El Nada. What is our vision at El Nada? By the way, sometimes when I talk about El Nada, I even get scared myself. I'll be like, how am I going to make this happen? By the way, my vision for El Nada is to make it a technical college. I want to make it a technical college whereby we teach this some of the engineering, practical engineering courses, and also the software engineering, because I have seen now in South Sudan there is actually a lack of software engineering colleges. I see University of Juba is trying, but to be honest, like, they are not more practical. They are more into academia. There is something that I went and got in Kenya recently when I was there, is that actually the champions that are leading now in the industries, and the people are getting employed more are the technical colleges, especially the technology one. For example, those one that is specialized in software, data science, data analytics, and all these other things. So these are the people that even the companies come and book them before they graduate, and when they graduate, they take them away. So my vision of another is not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen next year, but it's something that I'm just saying, if God give me an opportunity so that I can scale this, it's going to be a technical college, that is a technical vocational training center for a technology that is actually going to focus on giving people skills other than just giving them knowledge that they have nothing to do with. And I think I will end there. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Inshallah, bralo, inshallah. We need to give people more tools to do the work rather than just knowledge for bragging. Like, nothing do go quite a naked thing. Like, and I ran and who graduate today, let's celebrate freedom world, but then they just are not because that is breaking people heart, and it's been demotivating people who are collecting degrees, and we are not been benefiting from those degrees. And even here in West, our South Sudanese better and appear our South Sudanese in Nigeria. But they are not been working in the field when they because the field can always move faster. Like not every change every day, year, and like every system is changing. And so having technical vocational center, on the ground will be good for those generations to update them and keep them on track with the world. So looking forward to seeing many, many, many better things. We are running out of time. We're only 9 minutes, so I will give could you add 2 minutes to say his U-turn message, and also ala kira U-turn message de abulwel bajab buri yini Elijah bayo we do na kiri U-turn message bajab le walk da ni jabe no ko ba nyuwa one. I'm very excited about that. Ku ko ba le ko da ko ba le ko bebe lo pin what the message of change, the message of revival, the message of the new world. And we take a late in Cholukur, Kuja, Ayuna, Lukuja, younger, who Joko, Elijah Joko for your encouragement and comment. You can as well say your U10 message 10 in the comment section and we message share. Ruben Panchol in Kerana will be recognized. We'll be launching our U10 recognition project. Also, I think a noble idea, and we will not sleep on it. I think that's the best way to really, spotlight people that are doing great work rather than I can't remember one in the on the screen, but at least say people that are doing great because we are many. So take it away, Kuri George, Kubayana Lakir, Kubijala to now Elijah.
Yeah. Where Diana Ker I can care well ker I mean. So we're doing, the Kobe Iran shape, Duran Louis shape a chan be ayin, like a Louis shape a chan be ayin, Canera loy non quite gakwa. Why meet kwa you can dictate kwa raja non walk away jen yenake when yenake chuan mentorship when ye legal wele job hunting. So what you meet kwa choke ka pol to yake meet ku beke ting biting yang we ngik ka red ku jaka mentor that way. Lekin al wel ku buku ja dictate that thing. Wel ku beke ya kana. Achira loy somewhere ran al wel baba de biya dictoire en ker. Ku cheran achin go ka niere biya musician. Now one girl a lot of dictoire tol ku yen degree a lot of degree de belong go la jala yen baba del wel ngo. Lokul wel ai ngadi dua chatol so alla lo ka ke chok chatting achi support book mit kwa buka ya channel in that way mit kwa I support buka ya yen environment when lao le beke kada man the in future actually but dictator can be software engineering when no about quanting yung near ko ja ben mentor regarding ngadi so yen ke ka ko ro de nong wa kawai community ben so ku jala dengaro mishkala kana cha yo achi junu ba chetiong rana bin alwele le politiki ku ken ache you know in yog rana kwen engineering shaman ilaja ken man kwen engineering ken buku le politiki ala kir neng ka ken kwen ke regarding adi business buku le politiki an kwer miala politiki so okay that mindset ko buku nyai you know apiet bako ja kwan kana knowledge duon to kana yin cuman again man an software engineer le bab cuman for example politician le bako kwanya di based on knowledge dien to kan again okay achal wel na nang pyo by law politics real ki du kadang e pya ba chu to wadila le bay bi chung ngi field wi binang contribution gama country ache politics to yen yen ko gam of which ke ti era ayen ka ngi ran ben wel na ko bi ngi wala ko ba nang agenda dun gama te through politics wrong so ger cause dun kwen akor chi bia mediocre gaye nyana pet ko che politic yan bin ler kadang che politic yan bin chaping nanang software cha develop na ye software engineer wala nanang maybe na iran medicine nang procedure cha develop procedure kan le beni yin ngi chating le beni yin ngi ko che politic yeah so yana we yana kar shukran.
Oh, that's me next. I want to say whatever we're talking about in it is real, and I've made a personal U-turn. I'm now going into data analytics, data science. Completed my SQL training, and I will do other things on top of it to get a certificate of continuing education. Sorry, my voice is disappearing. So yeah, technology is real. It's changing the way we do things. It's changing the way we live our lives, and it's up to you, by you, Sidi. So this is U-turn message Nora and Ivan. What is your purpose for technology? I was once on Facebook, always quarreling with men. At some point, I had to delete my Facebook account because I saw this is not serving me or them in any way. Bajawa tear bainam, no. You don't even know these people are in their bed just laughing at you. They're not taking you seriously. I had to reassess and then come back to Facebook with a purpose. Why am I on Facebook? The very important question in life is why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Is it aligning with your goals, your dreams, and your purpose in life? We have seen it's May. It's almost end of second quarter of the year. Sit back and look at your goals at the beginning of the year. Are you doing things that are contributing to these goals before the end of second quarter? Um, U-turn message to everyone. And then to recognize Ranabin Jedi, Saturday is a day of resting. I want to recognize you for taking the time to tune into the U-turn, learn about the learn about empowering yourself, and that journey starts with you. And the step one is coming in and listening to what other people are saying that align with your values. So taking 2 hours of your day, Babendai, we don't take it very lightly. We really appreciate your contribution in the comments by sharing the video. Whoever has listened from the very beginning, you are the real MVP. This message is a continuous, but goal up to the end, you get the real value of the conversation. U-turn message Nongran, who's driving change out there, is going to be frustrating. People are not going to do what you want, and that's how people are. So you need to focus on your messaging. My background is in marketing, and in marketing we do what is called market research. Two things: market research and then communication. When you've done market research and found out what exactly are my population doing of interest, and then what will be my communication strategy? How am I going to reach them? So in the technology space, there's so much learning the skills. I said there is a gap of communication, learning how to communicate your skills to people who don't understand what you're working on or what MySQL is. So as your own personal development, if you take personal development courses, please add communication into that, add research, market research into that, and that will be a game changer for influencing people to join your cause and bring you closer to your goals. Yeah, so that's about it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Think about your goals and reach out for support. Personally, Iran in small business, and your the way of connecting with your customers is Facebook. I'm from marketing. I do consultation for digital marketing. So if you want to learn for free, mind you, I learned this knowledge with a lot of money, very expensive, but I'm happy to help. So reach out to me. My Facebook username are in the comment. Just DM and let me know how we can support each other. Thank you.
Thank you. Elijah, take it away. What is your U-turn message? And Elijah Jacob, your namesake, a U-turn message in the loyalty, and Alakira applaud. Ruben Panchole also, Louis applaud Alakira and Kuru Juat. Elijah Achiek, God, you know, I know a lot of wisdom.
Thank you. Uh, Sorry, I was on and then I mute myself. So thank you very much. My U-turn message to everyone is that please, we are in a country that has a lot of problems, but we need to be having a mindset of not complaining, but trying to do the little that we can, whether at our personal level or maybe, also my U-turn message to the organized communities that have the associations is please let your associations be service oriented. Let focus on delivering the services to your communities. Remove the little politics that you do that can be able to transform people and also contribute positively in your community. That is my U10 message for today. Thank you.
Thank you all. And maybe I can add, I can be jam. Chiwe with ya. My U-turn message is take learning seriously. In Elijah, you talk about learning, you talk about commitment, you talk about future orientation, you talk about transforming the society long term. Those are my U-turn message. And at individual level, personally, how I began to really embark in this transformation journey, it when God, you start by looking into your life. How many people can and then you appreciate them by going out there and helping coach why can he. I know one year sometimes, but we only focus on our own. But when you open your knowledge up to everyone, then that is where you really feel impact the world positively. So go out and help run. It can be just a comment and the post and encouragement. It can be just reaching out to the DM like direct message. It's like coming and posting a U10 message and tag our page so that people see our work and learn from this knowledge for free. And make sure you read daily. And today I want to leave you with a book called Maximum Achievement. Again, it's called Brian Tracy. I read a lot of self-help book because we don't need to start from zero. There are many people that have done what we want to do and they have written about it. So when you wake up every day and have a plan to read to achieve things, then that is when now you cannot do it on daily basis. So personally, that you can read so many, you can watch soccer by a fan, But Kura, they are living their dream. Are you living your dream? They are playing. That is their talent. What are you getting? The bajadol, yes. Now just your mirala, take that motivation and channel it to something in benefit people. Don't be just a fan of U10, but die U10 with you guys have done a mess. We are living our dream. We are giving back to our society. We are in our, you need to do something can you for yourself. What not just you ten so it's good to support other people, but take what they are doing and apply it in your own life. In Gabiama, you turn message today, and that keeping your mental health in check always. Sometimes you not mad because you know nothing, and all of us one of group. I don't know what one of you and every day you need to if you are not thinking about your life every day, it means now can you read, and that can you read need to be fixed. So next Saturday, we'll be about mental health again. We're talking about you turn it because got mental health, mentorship, we got technology and women empowerment. You can repeat it very now and then. So we need but no more friend. Now friend, you can improve your life, you can improve the life around you, and you can improve the world. So now it can work. We hope to see you again next Saturday. Now in can video can pink your opinion full. Now if you get that share because
Atia go Gideon there, can you what?
oh, okay. Then now when you're looking at your freestyle, you put it. I know late for Antonio. Like if you are excited, you can stay. But now we got that. What you missing that you will get your walk in a gift. So if you want the gift from Elijah Panchol, you can walk at the obligation. Watch it 2 hours. Mark a chuku. So now it can wait. Joy and give Elijah in car by it and your way.
Ne bandi dia late.
Yeah, actually. I mean.
So you tell me about
yeah, ki carbon a effectiveness of technology and how we can leverage the technology to do things that we want to do, and we jam a bit about actually the monetization part. Sometimes I say is kill you sometime. How we can be able to actually take the skill that we have and then monetize it into something, and then monetize it so that it can be beneficial to us. So, but what are we're only talking about the context of South Sudan right now. The bad thing about our country is that you can know whatever you say you know. I'm trying to share my screen. I don't know. It's kind of a little bit hard.
Are you using computer? I never present no plus button.
Yeah, I'm using a computer.
Great.
Yeah, I did present. I press a present, but it's I'm trying to share the entire screen because I need to know. I don't need to share a specific. Okay, no problem. I will first of all share one window, and then I will share the whole things later.
Excellent. And thank you, Paraj. Nadia Kinta Paraj Dot. You say, I'm grateful for your contribution to Youth Empowerment Initiative on this platform. So thank you.
So I chatting Canada. You guys are seeing my screen, right?
Yes. So let me put it here.
Yeah.
I chat our public. We can see.
Oh, okay. So I was thinking about how can I make a point that yen ki you really need kwa nyiku wewetke. Ake keda yen ke chiran ki aben ku lwele ki di en korba lwe ki di en le en korba lwe ki di en le ran kirkwera bo na la jam technical into a technical aspect, but then kika be dating yen last year, and I made a research about the software or the website existing in South Sudan. So Kichabela discover a lot of websites are being built with the WordPress. WordPress very common. Anybody can do that. Even run in any technical skills, it was built so that anybody who don't understand anything about software can do it. But sometimes enang vulnerabilities in a way that now can plug in for security who can avoid. Then sometimes chances something sensitive that is having a sensitive data, then in a data breach. So that is why it is important to actually hire people who understand the software, so that when they are going to build your software, you will be on a safer side. I said before, there are people who are self-employed, but sometimes they need technological solution. If you cannot do it yourself, you need an expert in that field that can be able to do it. For example, the thing that you are seeing here, it's something called web applications. So I have implemented the web applications here. It is having both the back end and the front end. The front end is the part that you are seeing. This is if the U10 decide in the future, they say we are going to actually go public at the podcast company. And sometimes we need people not only to see our informations on the Facebook, they should also see our informations also on our own official website. And there are other services which we have monetized, and we want to actually sell those services. So here is the simple website. Here it has a homepage which say welcome to U10 podcast. I call it a podcast. This is just a placeholder, and then it has about us. This about us page talked about the what is a U10 podcast, what do they do, what is their missions. I actually just put the dummy text here. For example, it has host, and I didn't know the second host. Next time, I will actually try to fine tune it so that it can reflect what you guys do. And then let's say you have episode that you want to actually, you are always posting on, maybe you post them on the Apple podcast, so that if people go there, these are people that have subscribed. And sometimes this is actually a great way to monetize your product. You can have it on podcasts, you can have it on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and something like that. You can also have news update about what is going on and stuff like that. If there is somebody that want to contact you, there is a contact form, they can fill in their form. Another very important feature is the booking, to book the sessions. How can you book the sessions? You can, if, for example, me, I want to come and be hosted on this platform, I can come here, fill in my information, and then even put in the prepared time that I want to be on the show, and put some of the information which the podcast host want to, of course, know. And you can actually even make this. You can monetize this. You can actually find a way of people paying. Like if there is somebody who want to come on here, for example, if I came here to promote another, and then I can actually be able to pay. Maybe you can make it as online payment, because the catch is always very in a long distance. The catch is always not a best option. So this is, I'm just saying that if you have a business in South Sudan, you are out abroad and you want to have a system that you want to do. Maybe you want to have your website have online booking and stuff like this. This is the best way that we can be able to actually give back to the community. Whether you have a community association that need to have a website, or they need to have a web applications or whatever, you can reach out to people like us, people like queer people who have these things. This is the only way we can actually monetize what we know. Otherwise, if we don't have customers, how do you expect us to actually make money from what we know? So thank you very much. I just wanted to mention that. So this is there, and it can actually be put on the site. It can be implemented, and you guys can have it. It's not a complete product. I can add some more other features, but we can talk about that. Thanks.
I love it. That's my feedback. Let's do it. I love it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I like
Brilliant.
our sponsorship director and and communication. Actually, well, work on it and give it to us. So and then I just working work on the knowledge token work in house, knowledge token our people. Just someone just thought about the U10 and what they might need. We never even asked about this, but I knew his area of expertise and he can do this, and he just did it for like a prototype. Oh, you see this one, it's like already a demand to create for himself. These people are in our community, and we don't give them a chance. Buku their knowledge, buku watch. I just always want to know on the U10 platform. And then you go and watch by events they facilitate. Kulu page. And y'all jump to go and inspire them. But the community they don't see me as a motivational speaker. So you are need and hired to
We see you, Paul.
be not a speaker in some of these gatherings. By young women are inspired, by young people are inspired, like I do in our community, Kawajat audiences. So watch your routine and watch your routine, support, and this is really important, and I am really grateful. Elijah Achiek Panchol, your expertise is showcased live now, and because I think that we have so much to offer, and we just don't get the recognition we deserve or the support we deserve to do this to ourselves. And we can be self-contained. Hello, what been you do well on what be Israelite, what benefit them career. It's true, what benefit them career because what you are different, what you need, what you will acquire, if we can bring it back and our people use it, go work, got the cake. So we need to do that more. In Chatingo, a dollar like Kirkuri Jaya and Chikadacha Walla jump. But I am happy, Elijah Achiek, that about what you have and what you can offer the U10K platform. I love the website. I love the brain behind it and even your vision of how this project cannot be just very small. Be actually like in 100 years' time, there will be a U10 movement continuing because we are changing every day. But there has to be something that exists.
Yeah, I think this is a great idea, Elijah. We will follow up on that. Akwalkur has all our assets, the website, the branding material, and we'll talk business offline if that's okay with you.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Imagine we have already raised money. Ruben Panchol, I look for that website. We in some dollars. When Elijah pay to do as a website, can you imagine? You so much. Thank you, Ruben Panchol. You have always been our support. So we're looking forward to making this come to life. And thank you for your contribution. Really, really appreciate. And you see, later I change to go you business. Your skill of go man through you. That is the power of collaboration and partnership and showcasing what we know and what we have. So made by us, buy by us in case slogan. And that is what the U10 is all about, for us to equip ourselves. So I don't know nang ba nang ni you don't know korban dit bina jagur choke leja kabu jati. And thank you, Ruben, and thank you, Madolda. I really appreciate your comment. Yeah, cholukur, God bless.
Yen I abu as ka ba ja le chanang yen walk a good win ko ke ter wan ku ka ben mana ka what bear the same numbers when good walk but I appreciate ko when chinang the patient chike ti one about 23 people now ko when chinang patients be walk o ku ka lu what share up to chan bu ki lwel ku bu lwel so that you guys in the youth and don't give up babela ben mia could wait a galeji akwir what the ikua jam on offline because I'm somebody who is always I'm always causing up with people that have this skill set that I need, because there is a power in collaborations, and I'm one of the people who have benefited a lot from collaborating with people that are brilliant. So I will reach out to you, and then we can actually talk more offline. Nang Coach Ruben Panchol, thank you very much. By the way, because thank you, you will really can yen Ruben Panchol, mananang thank you, because elui Quran lu yen ka elula thank you. Yen ka chok de ya daran chedai thank you. I and your panana man again chak deep well, Ruben Panchol. In ni la ko in ni la and then core background yi man nga ku well ka ku anything because che du loy. So kin ya annual we can a prototype, and it can be deployed as a website. So what jam offline to man by the way, Alakir, thank you very much. You are the first South Sudanese to contribute to my initiative on the GoFundMe. So in chatting, thank you. But range to ti bane kawaja we wet ke kawaja dal work ayu ja chol ke lim ku jol ku chol ke lim ku wana we work lekin ayu ke pain ne ke problem. So you could support man ki yelwela made by us by us a good idea ku yen ka you work thing man mit ka brema la twing, because I can na you ke man America gran bana wo ku la ra the control everything, because they understand the importance of made by us, and we buy. If it is not good, for example, the product nature, if it is not good, well, you need to improve it like this, you need to improve it like this. Kuduna la cargo la haira and come jama by berla ben mia kurde. A good thing because they will then create ben low in a chani jail around and yena where and a la beg kind of thing. So okay, thank you very much. Wabe jaldi akuwa yo wen yirga an ken ngade an ken ma we wet ko wen yirga. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Kunyali can work. Thank you, Ruben Panchol. One of your last slogan, made by us, by us, and wabi cheru wet or meet cabrem. Now, well, wet cabrem. You know the cheru our room there, and that's why we are here on the youth. You tell us, get all the organization of women to come the road. So, cheru, I think a Rick.
Jamal, I allies. The language is failing us all.
No, akwal ke tau Bible wala adding adi ke na well man ka diara che ka include by default. So can I
no, what am I rewarding?